Mom moved her friend and kids into my room, so I left to pay the bills at home, and now she's begging me to come back. I never thought my life would take such a sharp turn before my 20th birthday. Growing up in a small, middle-class town in Ohio, I always knew my mom was the kind of person who put others first, sometimes to a fault. But nothing could have prepared me for what happened last year. It started innocently enough. Mom's childhood friend, Lisa, hit a rough patch. Her husband walked out, leaving her with 2 kids, nowhere to go, and not a dollar to her name. When Lisa called my mom crying, I could already see where this was heading. Mom, with her big heart, offered Lisa a place to stay. I didn't think much of it at first. After all, we had a spare room, and it was the right thing to do. But a week later, when I came home from my shift at the diner, my room was unrecognizable. My posters, books, and neatly arranged clothes had been shoved into trash bags and dumped in the garage. Lisa and her kids had taken over my room, and my bed now belonged to her eldest. "What's going on?" I asked, standing in the doorway, trying to process the scene. "Oh, honey," Mom said with that sweet, apologetic tone she always used when she knew she'd done something wrong. "It's just temporary. Lisa needed a little more space, and you're young. You can manage on the couch for a while." I blinked, trying to stay calm. "A while? How long is a while?" She avoided my eyes. "Until Lisa gets back on her feet." That was the moment I realized temporary in my mom's dictionary didn't mean the same thing it did in mine. For the next 2 months, I slept on the lumpy couch, listening to Lisa's kids scream and fight over the TV remote while Lisa complained about her life to Mom in the kitchen. They were loud, messy, and oblivious to the fact that I was still trying to juggle college classes, a part-time job, and keeping the household afloat. One evening, after an exhausting double shift, I found the fridge nearly empty, except for Lisa's name scribbled on a pizza box. The utilities were overdue, the Wi-Fi had been shut off, and Mom had spent my contribution to the bills on groceries for Lisa and her kids. I'd had enough. "Mom, I can't do this anymore," I said, my voice trembling with frustration. "I'm working, studying, and trying to keep this house running while Lisa freeloads and her kids trash everything." Mom sighed. "You're overreacting. Lisa's family needs us right now. You're young. You'll bounce back." "No, Mom," I snapped. "You're choosing them over me. I'm done." The next morning, I packed my things and left. A friend from work had a spare room for rent, and I jumped at the opportunity. It wasn't much, just a tiny room in a cramped apartment, but it was mine. I picked up extra shifts and started saving every penny. Slowly, I felt the weight lifting. At first, Mom didn't seem to care. She called occasionally, her voice laced with guilt, but she never asked me to come back. Meanwhile, I worked harder than ever, taking on more responsibilities at the diner and even picking up a side gig delivering groceries. I was determined to prove to myself that I could survive without her help or her drama. But then the calls started to change. "Hey, honey," Mom said one evening, her voice quieter than usual. "How's everything going?" "Fine," I replied, keeping my answer short. She hesitated. "So, Lisa?" "Well, she's still here, and things are a little tight. The electric bill is overdue again, and I was wondering if you could." "No, Mom," I said firmly. "I'm not paying your bills." Over the next few weeks, the calls became more frequent. Mom's pleas grew more desperate. Lisa's kids had broken the coffee table, the water heater had stopped working, and the fridge was on its last legs. Mom couldn't keep up with the bills, and Lisa wasn't contributing a dime. One night, she finally broke down. "I'm sorry," she sobbed into the phone. "I thought I was doing the right thing, but I've made a mess of everything. Please come home. I need you." For a moment, I felt a pang of sympathy. This was my mom, the woman who had raised me and sacrificed so much to give me a good life. But I also knew that going back would mean falling into the same toxic cycle. "Mom," I said gently, "I love you, but I can't fix this for you. Lisa's your responsibility, not mine. If you want me to come back, you need to set boundaries and prioritize our family. Otherwise, I'll keep living my life on my terms." There was a long silence before she finally whispered, "Okay." Over the next few weeks, Mom started to make changes. She gave Lisa a deadline to move out, started budgeting more responsibly, and even took on a part-time job to help with expenses. It wasn't easy for her, but she did it. When she finally asked me to come home again, I knew she meant it. Moving back wasn't just about helping my mom, it was about rebuilding our relationship. We had a long talk about boundaries, responsibilities, and respect. For the first time, I felt like she truly saw me not just as her child, but as an equal. Now, a year later, things are better than ever. Mom and I have a stronger bond, and Lisa has her own place. I've learned the importance of standing up for myself, even when it's hard. And as for my room, it's mine again, and it's exactly the way I left it.